All right. Welcome to live stream where we talk about all things my life, moving back and being on the and moving and I have, for those of you who don't know, the Authentic African Instagram page, YouTube channel in 2021, and I lived in Sierra Leone a little bit after that. If you're deciding to make the move to visit vision, if you want to invest, so that's what I'm here to do. Serious, and I need you. The first thing I need to do is check to see if you got. And if you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hear me? Give me a thumbs from. I can never see what's going on. Move it here so that I can see what's going on. You guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and let me to the left. Mondays, yes, I got a case of the Mondays. Yeah, for joining. Yeah, we're gonna talk about since I came to America and a serious situation. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me from. Let me just double check to see if can you guys hear me. But I also realized that I don't have. That's strange. So now we got the full screen. I don't know what was going on before. So now you guys can finally see me. That we're leaving on Instagram because it was like a little. All right, cool. So you guys can hear me. Where you guys watching from? It just says you can hear me. Nice. You gave me a thumbs. Perna says you can hear me. Desho. Okay, what about the rest of you? Official Cal. All right, cool. So Alexander getting grown says link. Okay. Terrible. Sarah this damn is audio. Not sure what is going on. Not clear. Okay, so it sounds like the audio is bad. Because I'm talking. Now we're using the mic. Hear me. Now is the microphone, is it still coming? Is it coming through? I just updated the sound settings. At 5:04, they said my voice isn't audio. Are you still not being able to hear? It's still that bad? Let's see if the mic is. If the audio is off. Says you could hear me. Kwame says, all right, let me unplug and reply. The audio is bad. It should fuzzy. I'm hearing it's fuzzy. That must be my internet. I come to America, get a new internet service, and everybody's telling me my internet is bad. The audio is bad. Is it better now? Let me know if it's better now. I mean, the internet should be good. The internet connectivity should be good. Let me just double check to see if I'm connected to the right internet. Voice sound. Okay, so Kwame says now it sounds good. Hope says the voice sounds dragging. Jada says it's good now. Okay. Okay, Hope says it's good now. All right. All right. All right. So now that we got all that out the way. Sorry about that, guys. I need your help. And let's talk about it cuz it has been a very very difficult year since moving back to the United States. Many of you may or may not be aware of all the things that happened in my personal life as it pertains to losing relatives in the last 12 months. And that's partly the reason why I moved back, because there were a lot of costs associated with handling those situations. And while I was living on the continent, I was, kind of really only focused on myself and not really as responsible for many other things. And with the acceleration of declining health, certain family members, and with the costs associated with some of those things, it made sense for me to move back to the States to build up revenue streams that would allow me to go back and forth and live on the continent free of any guilt and with the ability to spend what's necessary to ensure that I maximize the help that I can give to family members where needed or for anything that's going on, any emergencies. And so I moved back to the States in May of last year. When I moved back, I had a lot of ideas about what I wanted to do with the platform. I wanted to continue to help people visit, move, and invest on the continent of Africa. I wanted to make sure that I was bridging the gap between Africans living on the continent and people of African descent living in the diaspora. And my goal was always to ensure that while doing so, I maintain a level, a standard, a level of quality. And I feel like I failed at that, especially when it comes to clips from these live streams, and when it comes to the clips from my vlogs and even the vlogs themselves that I was putting out. For a while I didn't put out videos because my laptop crashed, and that was another thing. The laptop crashed. I had to spend, a significant amount of money, to fix the laptop, to recover some of that content. And in doing so, I finally have some content that I'm putting out from some of the time that before the laptop crashed. And so some of you might be wondering, like the interview I did with Drizzlick, he's an artist from Sierra Leone. It seemed like at the time that you're watching it, I had to put an update in the video. And with other videos that I'm posting, I have to put an update in there as a disclaimer, like, look, a couple of things have happened since this interview occurred. And so because of that, I'm just now getting to new content that I'm producing and creating and putting out with better quality. But there's still some challenges. I spend a significant amount of money. We're going to say 5 figures on this channel, on this platform, to make sure that I have all of the products that are required to make sure I'm streaming, to have quality assurance from at least the posts that we have are being done. I have different people doing different elements of, thumbnails to clips to other clips from someone else to ensure quality. And even still, it is not at the level that it needs to be. The quality of the content that I'm doing on Authentic African has not been up to my quality standard and what I believe the quality and the standard should be. And that is just because of the nature of how I started with this process. I began saying, I want to hire Africans on the continent to manage the platform. And with that, that meant that I had folks who, right out of college, or younger folks who really weren't bringing new ideas. They were just kind of managing some of the original ideas that I had. And, we've gotten this far and we've grown it this large just because of the sheer number of pieces of content that are being put out. A couple of pieces of content have gone viral. And I realized that, okay, some of this is working, but it hasn't been consistent the way it should be. And I'm not happy with the results so far. And I implemented some new things, as you guys might notice. I take clips from the live stream when I'm have other people on, and we put those up. I take clips, what they call podcast style clips, where you have this angle of me off to the side and me speaking about specific topics from the live stream. We cut those in the clips. And although content is coming out and it's useful, the challenge that I have is that those videos need to be edited more than just the AI clips that are made. It requires some additional work. And the team that I have in place, although I really do appreciate them for all the work that they have done, there are limits to what they're producing for me, right? And so I need your help. And this is where I need your help, guys. I am looking for a social media strategist, someone to help me oversee the team responsible for managing everything, someone to give me content that I should be doing, someone to be helping me produce these live streams. You guys might not know this. You guys can't see the behind the scenes, but there are 3 screens over here. There's a phone over here where I'm streaming live from, and I'm going back and forth between the comments here on TikTok, between the comments on Instagram, comments on YouTube, Facebook, X, and the others. And that is what I'm doing every single time I go live. I also go live 2 to 3 times per week, and I'm producing all of these live streams myself. Now, the good thing is that when I have co-hosts, they help to alleviate some of that burden, because maybe they come up with some stories that we're going to talk about, or they add to the conversation in a way that I just would not be able to do it just by myself, which is why I do the weekly live stream about news with someone else. And today that's Gloria AL. She's been really, really great. Previously, that was Enem Richardson from African Stream. And then I do go live on Sundays with Ed Meyer Demo as much as we can on the talking about Sierra Leone. And we do have some new co-hosts coming in the coming weeks that I'll be going live with. So that'll help alleviate some of the tasks responsible, so that I can try to still maintain a certain level of quality. The issue is that when these live streams are done, to break them into parts, to make it something that is eye-catching, worthwhile for you all to want to watch, engage with, and then come back and watch the live stream. If you haven't watched the live stream, that is where there are challenges today. Those clips are just not up to par. And I just have to be honest with you guys. This is where I am today and how I feel about it. And you guys let me know what you guys think, but it's definitely not in a place where I feel confident continuing the way I have been doing it. And there are going to be some major changes, but I do need some help. So here is my ask of you all who are watching. If you know anybody who is a social media strategist, and I'm willing to pay 5 figures for this person, right? This isn't like a $200 per month thing. This is over $1,000, and in some cases could be $2,000 per month, depending on the person and what they're doing. But I'm looking to spend monthly the amount required to really get this off the ground, to be able to start driving traffic to different things, to be able to give you guys surveys, just to do things to maximize the value of the platform for all of you. Because today I feel like, yes, of course, I do the live streams every once in a while where you guys really seem to get a lot out of them. I can see that based on the engagement, the viewership, the sharing of the content. But then there are other times I see when I go live, because I haven't had the bandwidth to think through the content that we're going to be doing. I don't have a partner in this. When I go live, sometimes I'm just going live with a topic I just decided on 5 minutes before I went live. That's not the way to maximize the value that I'm getting to you guys. And so, that is why I need your help. And so if you guys know anybody who is great at running social media, who has a social media company, we're not just talking about like a individual social media manager. I need someone who has a social media company, somebody who does social media for multiple brands. That's what I'm looking for. I need a person of color, specifically of African descent, somebody who is passionate about the content that we cover on this platform, someone who has ideas to be able to give me on topics we should be covering and on ways that we can be creating engaging content when I go to Ghana, when I go to Sierra Leone, who I should be interviewing, helping me to get those interviews, right? That's what I need. And if you guys need more specifics, I'm going to walk you through high level what it is that I'm looking for. I think when people talk about this stuff, a lot of times they just talk about it. They don't really share. I'm going to share the specifics of what I'm looking for and how organized this process is going to be. So take a look here. What you can see is the job description is here, which I'll show you in a second. And then there's another document that I have that tracks all of the social media activity that I do. So I have an overview and needs assessments tab, which kind of gives you all of these needs that are down here. There's a full list of things and action items that I've taken from folks who have the results I'm looking to have, who have shown me ways to maximize the value that I bring to you all. So that is definitely going to be one of the elements that I want this person to review. And then this document, it's multiple parts, right? Each tab has its own elements of what a person is required to do. And so I need somebody to manage all of this and help me determine what can be consolidated, what other resources are needed, and how that can be done. And then this is the job description. The job description is very specific, right? We're seeking a highly creative and organized social media and content marketing strategist to lead our social media content strategy and execution across 6 platforms: Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, X, and YouTube. The ideal candidate will have a deep understanding of content repurposing, audience engagement, storytelling, and revenue generation through digital products. You'll be responsible for implementing modular content systems like the 90-piece strategy, mock podcast method, and Instagram story sales funnel, while driving community engagement and optimizing platform-specific performance. You must be equally strategic and execution focused. I need to be doing content for the different platforms, right? I need to do content for TikTok. I need to do content for YouTube. I need to do content for Instagram. And I need someone to help me create a content strategy and a plan around these platforms. So those of you who are watching, if you know anybody who is a person of color and black, well, literally a black person, right? Somebody of African descent, someone either first generation American, second generation, someone, ADOS, FBA, whatever that might look like, somebody who recently migrated from the continent, as long as they have a business around building social media and working with people in my niche, that's what I'm looking for. And I need your help, guys. I really need your help. Unfortunately, this live stream was produced an hour before I went live, so not everybody was made aware that this live stream was going to happen, and so not as many of the folks that normally join are here to watch this. So I need your help, guys, to push this out to different people that you know. And really, we only need one or two people who have someone to share, so that I can at least potentially talk to those folks. The key responsibilities from a high level is going to be social media strategy and execution, as we said, content creation and systems, lead generation and monetization, community engagement, content planning and organization, competitor research, and trend monitoring. This is what I'm looking for a person to do and what I'm expecting of them. Again, what I'm doing today is not working. It's not working for me. I'm not happy with the quality of content that has been going out. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think many of you find it useful, and I appreciate the kind remarks and people mentioning it. But we can do better and we can do more. I think you guys deserve more as this platform grows. We're over 800,000 strong, and we want to ensure that if we got 800,000 followers across all platforms, that you guys are. It's not just you guys aren't just getting content, but you're getting quality content, and that's going to be really important. And so if you guys have any recommendations, put them in the comments below. If you know anybody, put their Instagram page or their social media pages in the comments, whether you're the live comments or the replay. You can reach out to me via email. My email I will put at the bottom of the screen. You know, people do tend to ask for that. So it's right there, AuthenticAfricanLife@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. And I want to talk to folks who are interested in helping to bridge the gap between Africans living on the continent and those living in the diaspora. And I want to do a better job of really getting content out to those people. I'm traveling to the continent in just about a month. And when I get there, I'm going to be shooting a lot of content. And when I come back, I want that content to meet the moment, right? And where we are as a platform. This isn't going to be a long video. You know, that's all I really wanted to share with you guys. I want to just make sure that you guys were aware that that's what I'm looking for, and that's where I need your help. And I've just been failing you guys so far, in my opinion, in terms of the quality of the clips, specifically on Instagram. I think when we go live here on YouTube, generally, I think you guys find it useful, but we need to do a better job as a platform. And I'm not going to be able to do this as a solo show. You know, every time I talk to folks and they ask me, how big is your team? You know, I have about 6 people on the team, but I make all of the decisions on all of the content that goes out. I need a partner in this who can help me make decisions on what content we do. I'm working a full-time job. I have many other things that I'm launching, things that I'm preparing to share with you shortly. And so, you know, I'm going to need some help making sure that once that content gets shot and the stuff we work on gets done, that it's really high quality and you guys are happy with what you're seeing. Yeah. So, you know, I see that there are some folks joining the TikTok live stream. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining. You know, we're doing our best to try to get you guys valuable content, and I hope that you know, we can find some partners to help me out with this. As I said before, I'm willing to pay 5 figures. Wait, 5 figures or 4 figures? 4 figures per month. 5 figures a year, I should say, right? 4 figures per month, 5 figures per year. And so if there's a person that's interested in that, and this is not a full-time job, this is somebody who can just step in and work as a consultant, whether they have their own social media agency or they have their own social media business. We're talking about just bringing on someone who can really be a second set of eyes and ears and recommendations from me on what content I should be doing for you guys, and listening to the comments, responding to the comments, and helping me find the right fit of content for the audience. So guys, if you know anybody, again, put it in the comments below. If you know anybody who you think might find this interesting and you want to share this with them so you can at least let them know what it is that I'm looking for, you can do that as well. And if not, you can shoot me an email that's scrolling across your screen right now, AuthenticAfricanLife@gmail.com. And so that's it for now, guys. I have a ton of work I have to get back to, and this is why I have to have someone help me with this, because it'll allow me to be able to focus on some of the higher level and strategic things that I want to do for you all, and make sure that we're having really good quality content. And so with that, I want to say thanks again for watching. Those of you who joined the live stream, I appreciate you all. You know, shout out to Lenora, who's always joining, Kwame, who's always here. You know, some new faces like Hope, appreciate you. You know, I appreciate Jada subscribed on YouTube. Makanji Film Production says, Joe, I might be able to help. If you have a social media agency, sure, and you can show me some results of what you've been able to produce, more than happy to take a look. Shoot me an email. Let's talk about it. But I'm really looking to work with people who've built other people's social media platforms, people who are passionate about this project and what we're doing here. I showed you a little bit of what we're talking about or what I'm looking to do, but I have lots of plans and goals. And this person would be under NDA because they'd be hearing a lot about the future of what we're planning to do here. And there's a lot of interesting things coming. Trust me, some really interesting things coming. I've had some conversations with some people. I've started some partnerships with some folks. And so I'll be sharing all that soon. But yeah, if you find that if you feel like you can help, again, shoot me a note. If you know anybody who has the skill sets that we're looking for and the passion that we're talking about, shoot me a note or send them this video. All right, guys, I have a long day ahead of me for the rest of the evening. And so I'm going to call it here. But I want to thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate you. Feel free to shoot me a message in the replay. You can write it in the comments in the replay. And you can send this video to anybody you know. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right, thanks, guys. That's it for now. I will see you all on the next live stream. I don't think we'll be going live this Thursday with Gloria Ao. There's some technical difficulties we're having and some logistical challenges that we're having, and this week's a pretty busy week for me. I got some stuff that I'm trying to do, and I got a launch and pitch. And so I will not be available to go live this Thursday, but we probably will be going live this Sunday and next Monday. So stay tuned to the platform. I just put out a video. I should mention this. I just put out a video on Sunday about the house building project in Sierra Leone. I'm putting out a video on Wednesday, which will be, what is this Wednesday? I don't even know what content I'm putting out this Wednesday. This Wednesday is what, the 6th. So on the 6th, I have an interview that I did with a cousin of two good friends of mine who talked about going back and forth between DC and Sierra Leone and building a house. So we're going to be interviewing him, and then we'll be touring his house next Wednesday. So make sure you pay attention and stay tuned to the channel. And with that, guys, I keep saying that. Thanks for watching, but I really am going to sign off here. I want to thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys all on the next live stream. All right, guys, see you later.